Hey, look, it's Shirley.
Hey, it's Sam.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
You have such a great personality. Like immediately within 10 seconds, you got me smiling. So
Excellent. That's always
that's
my goal.
awesome. That's awesome. So hey, you
If
fired
you ain't
up?
smiling, you're crying, and that's not good.
What's that?
If you ain't smiling, you're crying, so that ain't good.
That'd be a great podcast title.
Yeah,
Yep.
there you go.
So hey, let's dive right in. I'm kind of curious over the past few days. I know you've ordered your microphone and things like that. Have you given kind of any more thought as to what we were talking about on Monday and where you see yourself taking? If you don't, you don't. But I just want to get an idea of where you are right now.
Yeah, I've been kind of toying. I do have a list of potential topics that I'm going to talk on my podcast. Um, Yeah. And that's where it kind of stops. Not exactly sure what the complete focus is of how I want to approach it. And I
Okay.
guess that's probably where I've been getting stuck on everything that I've been trying to do on how to launch this and talk about it.
Okay.
Um, like there's different avenues, there's different ways to get to my end result of what I'm trying to get to, other than educating, of course, to get them to move forward in their financial world to kind of help them. Um, so I'm kind of stuck there a little bit. So I
Okay.
think once I can get clear on that, Sam, I think I can start to really move forward. Like again, I woke up in the middle of the night, of course, it's just like, ah, you have the little bit of the panic. It's like, oh, like, how do I, where do I start in leading them down this path where, some people who are using this concept are just talking about, how people are losing money just in the banking system and not owning their own debt and things like that. So do you start going down that rabbit hole, or do you kind of keep it very broad and then you can bring them down into various rabbit holes depending on where they're at?
Yeah.
Um, and then there's also the other thing of I'm only licensed in Ontario, Canada at this point. So how broad do I want to go with regards to who I'm going to reach as well?
License for what, Shirley?
Well, the end result is providing people. It's through whole life insurance, so I'm a life licensed advisor in that regard. So that's kind of the end result of all this. That's where I would make my monetary money, right?
Okay.
Um, so I'm limited on territorial of where my license is held.
Okay. So your goal, if you take a look at what you're talking about, you're you would only, if somebody were to reach out to you right now, the only way you could help them if it were to get them into a whole life insurance type product or policy would be if they lived in the province of Ontario.
Ontario, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if you went more broad?
Hmm.
For example, when you launch your podcast, it's going to be all over the world.
Yeah. Now I do have connections in the States of people who are doing the exact same thing. So it's not like I can't collaborate and refer. So yeah, there is that potential, but again, it kind of has to match to what they're putting out there in what how they're using it and teaching people as well. So I have to be careful on what my message is and who I'm connecting them with in where they can uh, be helped.
Now we talked about, and I'm just taking notes. If you see me typing, it's because I'm taking
Yeah,
notes.
no, that's okay.
We talked about Monday, possibly. What about creating your own product? Shirley's product about how to pay yourself first, just without even any life insurance, just to teach people and train them and coach them why it's important to pay yourself first. Because your pocket, that still stands out to me. I think your pocket is the one that gets paid last, or something like that. You said.
Well, yeah, we're always the last to look after ourselves. It's kind of like the airplane oxygen, right? You put the oxygen on yourself before you put it on your child.
Yeah.
Uh, so we can go down that route for sure. I do have You can. There are people that are educating in regards to that. They're leading it that they're educating it, and then they swing them. It's like, okay, now that we've found the money, or we found some holes that we've been able to fill up without changing their lifestyle, now what are you going to do with that money?
Yeah.
And then we lead them into that, this is what we offer, or this is, but they do all that for free because they're trying to. It's no different than in, sorry, my dogs are barking.
No worries. No worries. I've got 2 border collies. I just happen to be at my office. So.
Oh, well, I'm in mine too, but they were right outside my door because they really like being in the office with me. So I apologize. But anyway, so people are kind of leading with that, and they're doing it just educationally wise, and it's that value that they're providing. So they're kind of doing it for free in the hopes that they're going to be able to find that money for them, and then they're going to, it's kind of like real estate. You show them all these houses and you hope that they're going to buy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you take a look, let me just share my screen here real quick.
Sure. If you've got an idea, I'm for it. Like I'm open.
Oh, I've got ideas. I've got ideas. Don't you worry, Shirley. This is somebody I heard interviewed on Amy Porterfield's podcast. Her name's Amber Duker. Now, she doesn't do exactly what you talk about. However, her whole brand is profit first.
Yeah, there's a book that's called Profit First.
It might even be hers. I don't know. But
no, it's a guy that has it. But anyway, carry on. Yep.
What she does with this is her homepage. It just happens to be, it's amberduger.com. And she's got, this cash flow checkup. That's her quote unquote lead magnet. So when you develop your lead magnet, it's to build your email list. And so if you got a free cash flow checkup, is your business profitable? Discover the truth in just 5 minutes with the profitability calculator. Do you want it? Yes or no? Great. Put your name and email in. You'll get it. And it's free of charge. And she touts it as her profitability calculator is by far the easiest way to figure out if your business is profitable or if you're losing money by the buckets. And I'm giving it to you free of charge. So, this is a profit first. Yours is pay yourself first. She's got a testimonial, which doesn't even say who it's from or anything, but it just says, this calculator helped me double business within weeks. Well, that's a big hook. Like, that's a big promise.
That's a huge hook. Absolutely.
So with the profitability calculator, you'll discover your revenue goal, get the finite answer to what should I be making each month. So you can adjust your prices plus expenses and become profitable. Why you've been suffering from, where did the money go syndrome, and how to instantly fix it. Customize profit first percentages for virtual business owners. So she's identified a target market of virtual business owners. So she's not talking to the brick and mortar people, okay?
Right.
There's somebody here that says, thanks to this calculator, I figured out my $34,600 revenue goal. And because of clarity, hit it within my first month. I doubled my income. So this is Amber. She introduces who she is. It's her mission to help you go from just making money to actually keeping it and spending it on the things that make your life awesome. With my signature program, Profit for Keeps, I teach business owners just like you how to move from my business making money, so why I don't have any, now, I'm not judging you, to debts being paid, 6 months of paycheck stashed in the bank, and a down payment on that dream home. So she's painting the visual. That's the result. So the reason I show you this is to get your mind thinking of, okay, so these are just the notes I'm taking on our conversation.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Our goal, the only reason, well, not the only reason, but the biggest reason you and I are working together is to gain 100% clarity on your message and to answer this question, what do I do? Okay. Yeah. Is that a fair statement?
100%.
Okay. So if we take a look at where we are, current state on August 14th, 2020, you have no message. And over here, if you go, this is your ideal client is stuck at point A, and we have to determine what that is. And throughout the course of working together, that's what we're going to do. And point B is the result that you provide them. I mean, that's it. In its basic, simplest form, if you take Amy, who many years ago had no idea what she was doing, her point B was she is going to, right here is her mission statement, help you go from just making money, so that's point A, I'm stuck, I'm just making money, to
Yeah.
actually keeping it and spending it on things that make your life awesome. Okay, that's point B for her ideal client. Okay, now her method, and so if we take a look here, this line right here represents Shirley's method. Okay, so all we're doing is we're creating a method that's going to get people from point A to point B with your, and this no message is, that's where you currently are right now. You don't have a message right now. We'll get to that. But, and you also got to provide the result. So what is this thing that keeps your target market awake at night? What keeps you awake at night is knowing exactly what it is you do and how to clearly articulate to somebody.
Right.
So that's why you and I are working together. What keeps your target market awake at night? That's the question you got to answer. Okay.
Right.
It's not whole life insurance. Nobody's laying awake at night saying, gee,
no, and I wasn't. So if I go back to my own personal story, I still am a business owner, and I had money in the bank and I didn't know where to put it.
Right.
So I didn't want to tie it up anywhere. I wanted access to it just in case.
Yep.
And I didn't want to tie it up. I personally don't like qualified plans for various reasons. I've just never liked them from day one. And so it was sitting there doing nothing. I was losing. I was paying money for by cash. I thought that was the way to go, the good old Dave Ramsey way, and losing money on that opportunity cost because it's gone. As soon as I spent it, it was gone. The only way I couldn't get it out of my corporation because I'm a numbered company. So I couldn't get it out of my corporation without being highly taxed. And I was already at a 6-figure income for salary wise.
Yeah.
So this is money over and above that I didn't need it for my everyday life. And it was sitting there. And of course you get told to create a corporation because there's going to be tax benefits. Well, against that is not able to get your money out.
Yeah.
So that's, through my avenues, I thought I had to work harder to somehow create also passive income down the road because I'm now worried about retirement going, I don't know where to put this money. So I just got to keep making it. So you start going down the rabbit holes of, passive income opportunities. And being a business owner, you kind of look at those opportunities, but then it wasn't quite, what they all talk about either. So, I kept reaching and looking for how am I going to make this all work? I have money. It's not that I'm not making money, but what do I do with it to be able to have it grow, but still have access to it if and when I need it or want it, and also some tax benefits. So, during all this time, I was an executor to my mom's estate. She was the second to die. I've lost both of my parents. And I had to deal with that. And I just know implications from qualified plans of what I had to do regarding that, of how much tax I had to pay. And, here's a story for you. When, as I say, I have tons of stories, but, you go and take the check to the bank teller and they said, is this number correct when you're paying the bills to the tax? They look at the number of the check and it's like, is this number correct? I said, unfortunately, yes.
Why is that?
Why? Because it's deemed disposition. So when you pass away, it's like you pulled everything out of your qualified plans. So you get taxed at a very high rate at the top, because if you, like she had, it's not like she had millions either, but it was like 250,000. So she's losing like 30%.
So they were surprised because the number was so high.
Yeah.
And they're like, so this is 60 grand or whatever, 70 grand. Is this number right? Like, holy cow, this is a lot of money to pay for somebody that died. So that's the death tax in Canada is 30%.
Yeah. It's deemed disposition. So it's the more you have, the more you get taxed, of course, typical, right? And, you know, my mom and dad were never, they were blue collar workers. They were never in the high tax bracket. They were just hard workers.
So they paid more tax than when they were living. Yeah. Okay. So wow, that's interesting. Paid more tax after
Well,
they,
yeah, one of my topics of my list was, it's not just the wife who thinks that you're worth more dead.
yeah. Wow.
Right? Trying to put a funny spin on it, right?
It's not just,
you say, oh, I'm always worth more dead than I alive, right?
yeah. Yeah. No kidding. The goal is to be worth less when you die.
Yeah.
You know?
So we're not putting it in areas. Qualified plans does not, you know, it's there for the government. That's who designed it.
Yeah. Where I'm trying to, I mean, we can definitely put a message together just for people in Ontario, but this information is universal in everywhere you live, you know?
100%. Now I can go Canada-wide eventually. I just have to get all my applications in and blah, 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 of various provinces, but it just takes time to do that. And I haven't done that because I'm still kind of new in this whole message thing. Because as I say, I've been 26 years in real estate. So this is just all me trying to get into this. It's not like I've been in this for 26 years. I've been in something different.
Well, look, I think Ontario's a big place. I mean, look, it's not like
there's tons of population. It's one of the biggest populated provinces for sure.
Yeah, so it's not like we can't just start there, and when you do grow it out, you can grow it out. That's probably a lot easier to do because, you know, you got a couple bucks you can throw at Facebook ads just to get your name out there, and to have people continually seeing your name, book a call with you. I mean, I could totally see right now we can build out your book a call page just like my book a call page, but have it specifically for Ontario and leverage the power of the story. I mean, look, if I'm you right now, I'm launching my podcast, and we can come up with a name. I'm going to take the weekend after this call. I'll think about what we've talked about. I want your ideas as well. But by the beginning of next week, we'll have a name for your podcast because you don't need to wait. You can always look. This can change too. I mean, it's not like you can't change the name or the description or where your podcast is going. It's more important to get this information out there because if I'm you, you know, I'm saying, hey, it's Shirley, this is my podcast. And I mean, I never thought in a million years I'd have a podcast on iTunes and be sharing this information. But my story, when my mom died, I was the executor of her estate, and I brought the check in to pay the taxes and had to deplete all of her plans. And they said, is this number correct? And that's what it hit me like, this is crazy. That they thought the number was out of this world. I thought the number was out of this world. And it's my goal, my mission from now on to make sure you never get that question, is this number correct? You know, because then you know you've paid way too much. And we are worth more dead than we are alive. And it's sad. And it's my mission and my goal out there. Just like Amber, I'd love for you as kind of like part of your homework to use this as an example. And it's my mission. What's your mission? And put that little visual out there. So what? Instead of giving that check to who? To the bank? Is that who you gave it to?
Yeah, I gave it to the bank to give it to the government.
Yeah. Instead of giving that check to the government, spend it on things that make your life awesome while you're still alive. You know, it's my mission to help people give as little to the government after they are dead, and to give more to the people that they love and the things that they love to do while they're still alive. And my free program, my free calculator, my free ebook, whatever it is, just to get people indoctrinated into what it is that you do. That is why you're doing what you do, you know? So put your name and email in, and that's how you kind of build an email list. I mean, we can build out a very minimal Facebook ad campaign for you. I'm not a Facebook ad expert, but this is a really simple idea. It's not like we're going to go crazy with it because you can go broke on Facebook ads.
Oh, I totally get that, and so it's all like you pay to test.
Exactly, but here's the thing: you're so nichified, so specific to one province that you're not going after people like I, go after everybody in Australia, the UK, North America. That's why people like me go broke on doing Facebook ads, because if you don't have a good solution and a good funnel, you're just wasting money. which is the opposite of what you're teaching people to do, you know? So I think really spending some time, and, you know, Amber is just one individual out there. If you can also kind of your homework over the weekend, if you haven't done this already, start Googling people, just type in pay yourself first and get on Amazon and look at who's written books about that. Get on Google and who's got basic funnels that have that. And you'll start seeing, because success leaves clues, you can start seeing what other people are talking about and what they're doing. But for us to launch your podcast, this is going to be great information, because your initial story is going to be, you know, hey, this is Shirley. This is my podcast. This is why I'm doing the podcast. That's it. Why did you decide to launch this show? Why now? Why now in August of 2020 did you finally decide to start putting yourself out there as a subject matter expert in this area? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's super powerful. People really resonate with that, because you know what's going to happen? Other people are going to have loved ones that they've had to do the exact same thing, or they've heard, and everybody knows somebody who's got a story like that. Yeah, we all do. It's like knowing somebody who's got cancer. We all know somebody who lost a loved one that had to pay a stupid tax, and you know, they don't even understand why or where the money goes to and how they can avoid that. And people also know somebody, if they don't also have this situation themselves, that they just got money sitting there and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know where to put it, you know?
Well, it all boils down to, you know, that's another tax thing, right? Can't pull it out because you're going to get taxed, right? And in Ontario, Canada, we're taxed high. And,
Yep.
you know, and then there's also the opportunity cost is a big one as soon as we pay anything. So there's not much difference between a borrower and a saver by the end of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, your passion behind this is going to be why people resonate with you. Because truth be told, there's a million people selling whole life insurance, and
100%. Yeah.
But nobody's got your story, and that's the difference. Like, nobody's got your story. So when you paid that tax and that really hit home with you, how long ago was that, by the way? How long ago did your mom die?
It's been gone 4 years now. So it was 4 years.
And how long have you been in the whole life insurance business?
Just basically since January. I found out about it last summer-ish. And then it just triggered to me when I saw it. And it was mainly more because of I had money in my account, and then it actually, you know, allowed me to go, I felt good with it because I still had access to it. It was growing every day, whether I needed it or not, because it still continued to grow. So, you know, it was me taking control, and I kind of like control. So of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it just made me be able to sleep at night and know that the money was growing, whether I was, you know, and I was growing capital, and I could still do things with it, even though it was in that type of a tool. Really, the whole life is just a tool that allows us to be able to be all 4 parts of even a banker. You can be the borrower, the depositor, the owner, and the shareholders. So it allows you to do all that. So if you can take all 4 of those, the banks are making a killing off of us. And we really are losing money by not knowing, because we're not taught that. We're told, what's the first thing you're told to do to put, you know, with your money?
Save it, put it in the bank.
Put it in the bank. And then what does the bank do?
Yeah, they
They take that money, and they're allowed to take up to 90% of it and go loan it out to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So what if we could create that for ourselves?
Yeah. They have that bank on yourself program here in the US. I don't know if they have it in Canada. You heard?
Yeah, it's the infinite banking. Yeah, it's the infinite banking concept. And I've gone through all that training with the Nelson Nash Institute that teaches it. And it's based all on Nelson R. Nash's book, Becoming Your Own Banker. So yeah, I'm heavily involved in that. So, and I do know that that's what intrigued me, was like, so I can have control of all that. I can be all 4 moving widgets. So now I'm making the money that the bank could be making off of me, of that money that I've got into my own personal account, so to speak.
Yeah. What are some real numbers? Like if somebody's making, I don't know, what would somebody have to be making to be able to benefit from you and your program? 50 grand, 100 grand? Well, they start like, were they really some meat?
there's no minimum. We work it backwards to what they feel comfortable with. So there's another kind of area that I kind of gone down for training as well is, and they find the money that we're losing unknowingly. So then once they find that money, say it's $1,000 a month, maybe, who knows, right? It all depends on their situation and what we can kind of tweak and make it better. Then if it's $1,000, then you're doing a premium, and we don't solve for death benefit. We just say that that's the, if you've got $1,000 a month to put into savings, or however you want to say it, into your account, make your deposit, then it's a $12,000 premium per year, and we pay it back, and we have it that there's a base of there, and we set it up in the regard that there's more paid up additions, so you're putting more into that part of it, which then that increases and buys more death benefit as each year as we go, each day. So the cash value in there at the age of 100 has to equal your death benefit. So as your death benefit grows, so does your money.
Okay.
Of what you have access to. So
can you explain that in a PowerPoint for the average lay person to understand without getting into a lot of the insurance type speak, or?
Yeah, I'd have to really sit down and I know a lot of them are teaching how the bank works, and then they convert it into using life insurance, the whole life insurance as the tool, where they can be that. So I do have access of other people's webinars that have created that. They talk about the, chasing the rates, how we're told to save 5% of our income, right, and put it away. But unfortunately, on average, we've got about 34% of our income going out in interest alone.
Yeah.
So we could recap, so now it doesn't matter how much you put that away, you're still behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
So they teach all that. I have access to all that kind of stuff. They're doing that on free webinars. Like some of them are doing Facebook ads, and they're putting them to that webinar to educate them. And then if the people are interested in chatting with them, that they set a call at that point, and then they start going down the, ensuring that they understand how it all works and go from there.
Yeah. Why would somebody use you versus anybody else out there, or your method or your system?
I think I think they got to resonate to the story. So that's where because I've got so many stories, who do I want to resonate most with? Who do I want to work with most? That's one area that I struggle with. I think people are looking for genuine people, especially with their money. There's been so many that, and I guess this is where I have a little hard time with the monetary, because so many people have put their monies with a financial advisor, and they don't want fees. Like they really want that education and that help for free. It's become an issue. And I don't really want to be classed as a financial advisor. It's just a title I don't want to be put in the same room of, because I don't think we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I struggle with that in that regard.
Of what? Charging fees?
Not so much charging fees. I don't want to. I have a problem. Up until now, when I kind of talk about this, people go down the rabbit hole of a financial advisor. So are you a financial advisor? No, I'm not.
What do you tell?
I have to figure out how to identify myself, I guess.
What do you tell people what that you are if you're not a financial advisor? What do you say?
I just say no.
Did they give you a title when you went through this course or got your license, or?
I've been calling myself kind of more of a wealth architect. But even still, it doesn't matter what your title is, quote unquote. Yeah. People still put you in the same bucket.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I were to ask,
money, they just think you're one of those.
Yeah, I get it. If I were to ask you what you do right now, hey, Shirley, tell me without even thinking, what is it that you do?
I've been trained to say that I help people find money they're losing unknowingly.
Find money that they're losing unknowingly. Okay.
Yeah.
But like the hole in the bucket type thing we're talking
Yeah,
about.
kind of. So that's one way, or, I've gone through so many rabbit holes of, you know, sorry, is that your system or my system? Right. Oh,
What?
no, something popped up on my screen. I went, is that your system or my system?
Okay.
Anyway, something
Because the
about,
reason I ask is, you know, if you were to be on stage, for example, and you were selling a product for $1,000 or selling this product, you would have to, there would be four components of, well, not four, there would be just, there would be the, who is Shirley? Because people want to know who you are. Okay. And then they want to know what is your system. Because if it's not a system or a method, then I can't use it. Because if I got to be you, then I can't be you. But if you got a system or a method that I can plug into, then also you have to really bring out an amazing pain in people, okay? Because if I'm not in pain, then I don't need the medication. You're providing me like one big Advil, one big ibuprofen. You know, if you've ever had back pain, I don't know if you have you ever had back pain?
I've had knee pain.
Knee pain. Okay, so imagine when you have knee pain. I've had back, you could say knee, and you're in excruciating pain and you don't know when it's going to end and you've never had any success. And if I were to come up to you and say, hey, Shirley, I've got this pill that'll take your knee pain away forever. I mean, you'll never have to worry about it again.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'll do it. Well, it's $5,000. I don't care. I'll pay 2 times that. You're telling me that it's going to be gone forever? Yeah, it's $5,000. Well, here you go. Here's my credit card. You know, that let's go. I can make payments, things like that. That's where you want to bring the pain out, because when you talk about whole life insurance money and want to grow money and all,
it goes.
yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Now, my name's Shirley Padalino, and my eyes were wide open 4 years ago, and I want to share a story with you. It was hard enough burying my mother. I lost both my parents. You know what's harder, almost as hard as losing a parent, is walking into a bank and giving them a check for 30% of what they saved up. And they were just average, ordinary blue collar workers. They weren't multimillionaires. And when you have somebody from the bank ask, is this number correct? This is what you're going to send to the government? Not only did I lose my loved one, I feel like I lost some dignity along the way. And I don't want you ever to experience that pain. And if you think you're going to avoid that pain, you're sadly mistaken. You're going to feel it maybe worse than I felt it. And my goal and my mission is to make sure that I alleviate that pain in everybody's life and to help them not only grow and enjoy their money, but actually enjoy the life of their loved ones. Because once I give you this information, you're going to be running, not walking, to all of your loved ones. Maybe it's your parents, your grandparents, your aunts and your uncles, and showing them the system that we develop that's going to ensure not only you enjoy life, but you enjoy the time after you lose a loved one, because you're not walking into that banker giving them a check for an ungodly amount of money and have them ask you almost embarrassingly, is this number correct? Because you don't ever want to be humiliated after you lose a loved one. And that's my story.
Right.
And that's what, not one time did I talk about growing money.
No.
You know, but that's the method in the system, and that's the pain that you bring out. Like, my mom died without a nickel, so I don't even know, what that would be like. But I know one thing: if I were to die now, that would be what the situation my kids would be walking into.
Yeah, we work so hard to have it for ourselves, so we have a certain lifestyle that we want, and yada yada, and then the government just comes along, and no matter what age. Here's the thing: we could die young.
Yep.
And still have that in there in those qualified plans, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Now, it is the second to die. Like, that's when you feel the effects of it. But
the dirty little secret of qualified plans that nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also use this line that works a lot, as you've been lied to. That's pretty powerful. These are just like thoughts for headlines and Facebook ads and things like that, because you really are exposing, and you can put the word expose, the dirty little secret of qualified plans. If you live in Ontario and you are currently earning income, you need to book a call with me. I mean, really, that's everybody, because I will show you how to avoid being part of this. Because if you and I haven't talked, there's a 99% chance likelihood that you fall into this, you know? So that's powerful in the sense that, wow, what secret is she talking about? And I don't even know who Shirley is. So we definitely haven't talked, but I know one thing, I need to talk to her, you know?
Right.
And so are you okay with getting people on the phone? I mean, is that part of your business?
I have no problem talking to people on the phone.
Yeah, because we can build out a very simple page like I have with my calendar and my video, but instead of booking a call to get coaching, they're booking a call to speak to you about your method and your system. And I wouldn't even mention whole life at all. I think a lot of the things that we do not even know what it's like to be the borrower, the depositor, the owner, and the shareholder. I'm going to show you how you can do all of that and avoid the same minefields and pitfalls that everybody in Ontario right now is in. Everybody. If we haven't talked, you're experiencing this, and you don't even know you're experiencing it. It's like this invisible thing going around in the room. I think like a poisonous gas going around. I mean, you know, everybody is inhaling this and everybody is living and breathing this. I need to get this information to you. Let me know where I can send it or book a call right now. There's no obligation. I mean, I'm not even here to sell you anything. I'm just here to share this information with you. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that's all you got to do. And if you can get 10 people all the time on the phone, I mean, 5 out of 10 of them are going to become clients of yours.
Right.
You know, what's your normal like income or commission, or what do you stand to make for a brand new client on average?
So roughly it's about 50%. So if it was a 12,000 premium, it'd be about 6,000.
So just walk me through. I don't need to get into the nitty gritty because I don't understand, and it's not my job to understand what you do. It's my job to market what you do. But I want to understand. I book a call with you, and on average, you're going to have me put $1,000 into a whole life policy. Is that right?
Yeah, per month. Yeah.
And you're telling me that I can have access to that money at any time?
Yeah, within 30 days.
What's that mean?
So from the time that they start the policy,
after 30 days, I'll have access to it.
You would be able to have access to funds. Yes.
And then can I spend that money, or does it need to stay in that whole life plan?
It actually stays in. What it is that there's a policy loan with the insurance company who holds that policy as a collateral. And so they charge a simple interest only.
Okay.
And they charge that out once a year. So there's no, you make your payment terms, you make whatever. So like, for instance, we're in COVID. Say I had 20 grand in there and it's like, poop, I'm not working right now, right? I need money. I could apply for a policy loan and have that money within a week. Well, actually it's about 3 days. So
what percentage of the amount that I have in there, let's say I got 20 grand in there, what percentage am I allowed to borrow against it?
up to 90%.
Really? So I could borrow 18 grand.
Mm-hmm.
And then what if I died while I have a loan out there? Does it still pay the 20?
No, it doesn't come off the death benefit.
It doesn't?
It does come off the death benefit.
Oh, it does. Okay. So whoever is my...
Figure, say you open up a policy now and just say it all worked out that it was 500,000 in death benefit and but you just started it, but you did have a loan out there of 90% of your cash value, and I'm just going to use numbers, just 10 grand, right? So that means you would be paid out 490,000 if something happened to you.
Got it. Okay. So it comes off the death benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this scenario, can you give an example of a Mr. or Mrs. everyday person who pays let's say they're a factory worker or they are an entrepreneur or something like that. They pay 12 grand a year into this policy. After 5 years, they got $60,000 in there. And on that 5th year, they need access to, 30 grand. They can get 30 grand against.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. Yeah.
No.
As opposed to
it doesn't show up on their credit rating, nothing.
And so what would be a counter scenario if they were putting $1,000 a month away in one of these other plans? What would happen to their money after 5 years that paid $1,000 in? Like,
there would be, if you put it into a qualified plan,
yeah,
it may not be there.
Why?
Because there's risk and there's it's ebb and flows of the market. You could put in 12,000 and say the market tanks like it did at COVID and you lost 30%,
Oh, I got it.
right? So there is no, there's none of that. The other thing is too, is if you've pulled it out, now you're being taxed on it.
Yep. But you could take loans against some of those qualified plans here in the US, like a 401k loan, and pay yourself back.
Yeah, but there's still tax implications on that, I believe. I don't
Not
know
if you take the loan out. There's tax if you withdraw.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't know the American as
Yeah, which I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate.
yeah, no, that's okay. The other thing is it stops growing. As soon as you take it out of that, it stops growing, where this policy loan does not affect that.
Got it.
So it still continues to grow. And you know the compound effect, right? As
Yep.
soon as you take it out and withdraw it on one day, it screws it, it completely screws it up.
Yes, true. So
right?
what is the
goal of $300 puts it back to zero.
so if you stand to make, what does he say, 50%? Would you say $6,000?
Yeah, basically I would, on a 12,000 premium, I would roughly make about $6,000.
Do you get that paid up front or you get paid throughout the year?
No, it gets paid when the policy's all issued. So it's a lump sum.
That's pretty lucrative. Where is the money being made from the insurance companies? Is it just because they're pooling all these policies and it's just buying power for them? And then what do they do with the money?
They pay out for their, it's just how they pay. It's just a one-time.
Yeah. But that's great. Like if you bring on a new client to make $6,000 for one new client, if you brought on 10 clients a month, you'd be making $60,000 a month.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't have a problem with the end result if we can get them there. And that's why I don't really have a problem not making it monetary throughout the process. I would rather educate, because I think this message needs to get out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love where you are right now, because this shows that my messaging is working, because you're not the desperate type saying, how fast can I make this money back? You want to get the information out.
I do.
Yeah.
You know what? When it clicks with somebody like it did me, I was instant, like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Because it solved my problem.
Yeah.
I now could take those excess funds, and that's why it's just like, so do I go and do I talk to business owners? Because I can relate to that. Or as you say, do I go and talk about the tax repercussions of a qualified plan versus what, this system can provide you and your family? Do I go along the living benefits? Not because we really don't focus on the death benefit.
Yeah.
It's all on the living benefit. So do I go down that rabbit hole? And I guess there's so many ways you can go to get the message out. But what is the biggest pain for people right now? And I don't think, like, our age group, I don't know what it's like in America, but I know here people are not prepared for retirement.
Right. But I think what we have right here, we have fear, worry, and anxiety about the future as it relates to money.
Yeah. And there's so many people that are self-employed like myself, where, yes, I'm incorporated. I have my own, but I'm in a service industry with residential appraisals.
Yeah.
So I can relate where, I was making multiple six-figure income, but I didn't need all that, and I didn't want to be taxed on it. So I didn't take that wage out. That was my problem.
Yeah. Didn't want to earn more because you don't want to get taxed more.
No, why am I going to pay 30%?
Right. Right.
So I left it there. So is someone like that, which is kind of, I'm going to say it, is a little bit of an easier sale if you can find them, because they've got the money sitting there.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Where does the $1,000 a month premium come from? Does it come from their existing plan? Does it come from their budget? They just got to find $1,000 extra a month to pay into that.
If we're going to go down that route of the average Joe and teach them about where we're losing money, right? It can be on how they're paying their mortgage, right? Everyone thinks that they got to pay their mortgage down fast. And the bank is quite grateful because guess what they're doing with that extra money?
Yeah.
They're loaning it out.
Yeah.
And if you put that difference between a 30-year to a 15-year, and you took that difference and put it and paid yourself first, here we go, right? Paid yourself first, we can actually show you, right, on the calculations where you would have enough to pay out that mortgage. And now all your money's not tied up in your house, because if you get sick, you can't get money out of your equity out of your house.
Right.
They're not going to loan it to you.
No.
So we shouldn't have, like, and most people right now, especially in Canada, they've used their house as a bank. Right?
So do you recommend not paying down your mortgage quickly? Like if you had a 30-year note, to not pay it quickly?
Yeah. Try and get the least lowest number for payment. So extend it out as long as you can for amortization, everything. Take that difference of what you wanted to pay off, and you throw that in as into one of these systems, and it's continuing to grow.
Yeah.
Now you have access to it.
Yeah.
Right? If you need it, and down the road, because we can show business owners how it can be a passive income down the road where they can take it out tax-free.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing too, is you're deferred. As soon as you start taking it out, you're now being taxed. Right? And you have to, like in Canada, you are told how much you have to take out.
Yeah.
I'm not being told how much I have to take out of this.
Right.
So I have a lot more control. Who knows what 20 years from now is going to be?
Yeah.
And the way that both of our countries are racking up the debt,
yeah. Yeah.
someone's going to pay for it.
What's the typical interest rate you pay yourself back if you take a loan?
What the insurance company charges for that, and don't forget, I get dividends off of this. I'm a shareholder of this company, of the insurance company. So in that regard, I get dividends. So I actually get reimbursed of when they make profit, right? So anyway, they charge currently, it's roughly about a 7% simple interest.
Got it. So if I had credit cards at 23% interest, I could take a loan for 20 grand, pay those off at 7%, and just cut 2/3 of the interest out right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, that's fascinating. This is really, now I see why you're so excited about it, because the problem, not the problem, but the goal is to get this information out. Like I can see now in talk, you've got just all this information, so many stories.
I'm surprised my head's not this big.
I know, but it's great because you'll never run out of things. What's that?
It's mind blowing.
It is mind blowing. That's blowing my mind.
Off your credit card, it still continues to grow, even though you've taken a policy loan out at a reduced rate compared to what you're paying now.
Yeah.
It still continues to grow. And now you have that opportunity to pay that back, pay yourself back.
Yeah.
So now you can go and do something else with that very same money. Whoever thought you could take a down payment if you started kids with this instead of a college fund, used one of these when they were born, and it accumulates.
Yeah.
So now you're not taking money, and I know we've all been there. We're putting kids through school and whatever. What did I do? I paid cash.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild. So so a couple of off the beaten path questions, brother. Did you buy any kind of domain name, any URL?
I've got a few, because I've been toying around with various things, and I thought for a few extra bucks, you're going to buy them, right? So I have, one of them was my last train of thought, because it really is kind of going against the grain, and it's called the Canadian Financial Rebel.
Okay.
Then I do have my own name as a domain, shirleypadalino.ca. But that's all that I have with regards to what would be used for this.
Okay, shirleypadalino.com would be better. Because everything's .com.
Okay.
So Shirley, let me just go to Google. So just see here. Dedicated hosting. Let's just see here. get started. Just let me check something real quick here.
Checking the availability.
Cool. All right. So here's what I want you to do. I'll set all this up. 100% disclosure. I'm an affiliate for Bluehost. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you go through everydaysaturday.com/hosting,
Yeah.
buy the domain through there.
Okay.
Because I'll be able to. It's pizza night tonight at the Crowley House, and I'll be able to buy them pizza if you do that.
Can I come? That is my favorite food.
Are you a pizza-holic like everybody in my family, or no?
Yes. I could
I
eat it every day.
What?
I could eat it every day.
Right. It's
We
great.
could do a calzone. We could do, just your flatbread. Oh, yeah. Mhm.
That's good to hear. I knew I loved you. Everydaysaturday.com/hosting. So I'm going to back this up, okay? Because I want you to just follow these steps. And I'm recording our entire call, by the way.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I'll be sending this. If you can make a note, 50 minutes in at 12:51 Eastern, we went through the hosting. That way you'll be able to go right through it without having to take too many notes. Go to everydaysaturday.com/hosting. I want you to click on that green button that says Get Started. Then I want you to go to this select $3.95 a month. Type in shirleypadalino.com. It'll come up that it's available.
Yep.
And then just go first name, all that good stuff. Okay, you can buy it however many you want, 36 months. Let me just give you a 1-year option. It's $5.95 a month. Prepaid is $71.40.
Okay.
You can do the domain privacy. You don't need any of this other stuff. Okay. So it's going to be $83.28 out the door. Put your payment information and send me your login, what they give you for a login. I'm going to install WordPress on your domain name, and then I'm going to install what's called Thrive Themes. You need some sort of website builder to build out a website pages.
Yeah.
And I want to start tinkering around. I want to start playing with your landing page out of some of the concepts we've talked about. Do you have a photo like that you use on the internet or anything? Or?
Yeah, I've had a photo shoot done, so I've got some good photos. Do you want like outside ones, like with some?
No, I think because of the nature you're in, probably for the home page type. And this is just the basic meeting. Something more professional.
Office?
What?
Are you thinking like desk, office, that type of stuff?
Yeah, not stuffy because you're not a stuffy person, but something smiling,
I got a few of the good ones. I got a few good laughing ones and stuff.
Good.
So I'll send a bunch. You can play around all you want.
And then we'll come up with so here's kind of give you an idea where we're going with this in the first 30 days. We're going to get your podcast launched before the middle of September, okay? Yeah. We're going to come up with the name of the podcast. We're going to come up with the cover art for the podcast, all of that stuff that needs to be done. But this call today was to really, you've given me some amazing information. I'm going to let this percolate over the weekend, and I'm going to shoot kind of a video of my desktop, kind of where I see this thing going over. I'm going to talk about our document that and this is a working document. You'll have access to it as well. I'll send you a link to it. But there's no need to spend 6 months building out a website. I'm going to go right out there and put together your lead magnet. What are they going to get? So this is a lot. So let me just write this down before I get too far ahead. So here we go. Podcast, artwork for podcast. That's going to get one. Landing page with lead magnet. And the lead magnet can be your ebook, call, whatever that looks like. This is kind of where we're going, not only in the next 30 days, but really the next 3 months. We're going to be building out your calendar with booking, video with that. I'm just typing out loud. Okay. And it would help if I could actually spell. So, yeah.
I understand.
What's that?
I said it's okay. I understand.
Yes. So this kind of gives you a vision for, I'd say till vision for end of 2020. This is where we'll be. You'll have your podcast, your artwork, your landing page, your calendar with booking, your video, and I think we can actually fire up some Facebook ads to get rocking and rolling. And then autoresponder, because you need a way to capture emails. I'll walk you through this stuff, but I'm just giving you this is for email capture. You can start building your list. And it all grows around this message. Like, we got to figure out right now, take all that information you've got, all this amazing stuff, and come up with one power sentence. That's what we got to do. We don't need that before we get started with the podcast or anything like that. We're going to need it for kind of a headline of your landing page as well as your lead magnet. So that's why I kind of want to think about over the next week or so, what would be that one power sentence that would make people sit up, take notice, say, oh my God, yeah. Like, I love is this number correct? There's something there. Whether it's what's your number, and say, hey, what's your number? Well, what do you mean? Well, what number will you be writing a check to the government for? 20 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand? What are you talking about? Well, that's where I help people figure out what their number is going to be, because I help people lower their number. It's kind of like golf. The lower the number, the better. Because
I can even go like that fits into both.
Yeah.
I see that fitting into both. So that's great. Yeah. I can see that where that would, yeah, I like that one.
Like, hey, Shirley, what's your number? What do you want my phone number for? No, I don't want your phone number.
Jenny. 867-5309.
Yeah, that's right. Jenny. I got your number.
That's right.
Hey, it's Shirley Padalino, host of What's Your Number? I help people lower their number. The number that you pay the government at the end of your life. Hey, there's one thing we all know that's going to happen. We're going to have to take our last breath and we're gone. Do you want to leave your loved ones a lot of money or a little? Let me know. Because if you want to leave them just a little bit, raise that number. Make sure you're in every qualified plan out there and save so you can pay the government all that money. Okay? And that's where you're kind of zeroing in on. You're helping people lower that number. Look, a doctor helps people lower their cholesterol. I help people.
Not necessarily at their death. That's an addition too.
Yeah.
It's also living.
Lower your debt. Yeah. And it's all because of the system that I've created. You just plug into it. You're going to be the borrower, the depositor, the owner, and the shareholder. And look, let me tell you, those numbers may scare you. Like, you may not have a college education, or you don't think that you're smart. You don't need to be. I do this for work-at-home moms, for blue-collar men, anybody and everybody in between. You could be a C-level executive, or you could be a clerk at a store. It doesn't matter. What matters is you want to keep more of the money that you earn. My system will show you how to do that.
Yeah.
That's it. It's as simple as that. So I think dialing in on what is that number is a really key for you, because when they ask, is this number correct? I think that's a powerful, like, I just keep coming back to that, because I can see that conversation. Like, I can envision you walking into the bank with a check for 60-something thousand. How much was the check for? $85,000 to go to the government to do what? After they've already
things that she never received.
Yeah. So maybe reverse engineer, had my mom had this system, what would her check have been, and how much more money would she have made throughout her life in the last 10 or 20 years?
I know. It's the unknown.
Yeah. I mean, that's where it gets to be really powerful. So the good news is you got a ton of information. The bad news is you got a ton of information. So
now you understand my conundrum.
Well, I love it though, because this is like a Rubik's Cube for a guy like me. This is awesome. Like, this is,
yeah. I'm glad you're up for the challenge, because it's been frustrating the hell out of me.
Well, here's the problem. A lot of people, especially when I start working with them, they don't have content. Like, they don't know what to talk about. That's the opposite of where you are.
Yeah.
And
it's overwhelmed, right? And that's where it's too much. It's like, which one do I talk about and where do I lead? Well,
you start at the very basic, because here's the thing, in America especially, but it's true all around the world, we communicate at a 7th grade level, okay? And so you've got to communicate at a 7th grade level with people. Right. And you got to keep that in mind. You can't be talking about even those words, depositor, borrower, owner, shareholder. Yeah, that word shareholder, nobody knows. We all get gone now. I don't want to be a shareholder. Like, I don't even know what that means, because I don't own stock. Are you talking about being in the stock market? You got to come up with a very simplistic, almost 6th or 5th grade level to communicate with people and help them understand Like, this is you, this is your money, and this is what we need to do. Very basic.
Quiet really down. Yeah.
You really have to, because if not, you're eliminating so many people out of the possibility of working with you.
Yeah. Okay.
You know. So,
Awesome.
what questions do you have before we wrap it up? What other questions do you have? Anything?
No, not at this point. I'll keep writing down ideas.
Yeah, if you come up with a cool name for your podcast or something, let me know. I mean, just fire it over to me. You can email me. The best way to do it is email, so we have a paper trail.
Sure.
Text message just ends up in my phone and gets deleted.
Yeah,
and
I know.
who knows?
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a link to this document, so you can add it either a couple different ways. Shoot me an email and say, hey, Sam, I just wrote down on the document Shirley's ideas, for example.
Yeah.
Check it out today. Let me know what you think. It's something like that. It's fine.
Okay.
Hey, are you familiar with the app Boxer?
Boxer or Voxer?
Boxer.
I think I've heard of it, but I've never done it.
It's awesome. It's a walkie-talkie app type of thing where you can leave me a voice message any time of day, any day of the week. I get it and I respond back. So what I'm going to do, I want you to download the app. It's free. It's Voxer, Voxer. And I'm going to send you my username. I'm going to text it to you right now. And when you download the app, I want you to add me that way. And then just send me kind of a test that you're on there. You'll know what I'm talking about. Just send me a message. Let me find Shirley. I've got you in here from the other day. There it is. Okay. Add me to Voxer, leave me a voice message. And if you really want a faster response right away, like in hours, not immediate, unless I'm here, but I'll respond back. I always get back to clients on Voxer faster than any other way because it's voice messaging back and forth.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
So download the app, add me.
Yep.
That's it.
Perfect.
And
I'll set her up and I'll attach you. And yeah, it's through your email.
No, it'll come up. You'll get a notification on your phone that you got a new message.
Okay.
And then you can show it. It's a walkie-talkie. You just press the button, hold it, and talk to me. Leave me a voicemail.
Okay. Perfect. I'll figure it out.
Yep, you'll figure it out. And so we're going to figure out a way to talk to your clientele like they're fifth graders and communicate this plan, which is really amazing, the information. And then by the end of this calendar year, we'll have all of this rocking and rolling. But for the purpose of the next week or so, we'll schedule Zoom calls as we need Zoom calls. We don't need to schedule a call just to say we had a call, because we can accomplish a lot back and forth with email and Voxer. But I think the next call we have is going to dial in what this podcast is going to be about and the name of it. And that won't be difficult to do. I just want to think about all of this.
Yeah. I've been thinking a long time.
Yeah.
But hey, two heads are better than one.
No, it really is. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, your expectations are perfect. You don't have I don't need to make money tomorrow with this. It's more important for me to get the message out. And I'm excited to kind of get this thing crystallized. And I know we're not going to do it in one day. That's perfect.
No, it's a time thing for sure.
And are you going to utilize the coming to Cincinnati part of your program?
I'd like to, so long as, our borders can get along and, because really you're even within driving distance if they opened up the border. So then I don't have to, sit on a plane with a mask and all this other hoopla.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I've driven to Toronto a number of times. I spoke in there a number of times. So it's right up through Detroit and straight across.
Yeah. So I'm okay driving it. So as long as they allow us to do that, I'm more isolated in my car than going on a plane. So
exactly. I would do the exact same thing. It's an 8-hour drive. So
yeah, I leave at 6 a.m. I'm there for dinner time. We're all good.
Yeah. So we go to dinner, spend the rest of the day masterminding, and then you can drive out the next day. So it's available to you if you want to use it anytime in the next 6 months.
Yeah, we just have to get our borders opened up a little bit. So
exactly. Okay. All right. Good first call. Are you excited still?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you come up with.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, this is great. This is really good. We got to come up with the one sentence power offer, and then we'll develop the method. But the method is already there. You're using your company's method.
Yep.
It's that simple. And so we'll come up with your calendar, your video page, and start sending people there.
Perfect. Awesome.
All right, Shirley. I'm going to send you a YouTube link. It's unlisted. You're the only one that has it. But this call recording will end up on a YouTube link. I'll send you that. I'll send you the link to this document so you can review everything we talked about. And if you have any questions or if something comes up, an idea, leave me a box or voice message. That's the best way to do it.
Awesome. Sounds perfect.
All right, Shirley. Great. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.